everyone! So today I will share with you my tips and tricks to get ready for fall. Hi guys! So it's almost fall. As you can see, I already am wearing something a little bit warmer just because it's getting really cold in the morning and then also in the evening. Maybe the first tips and tricks is maybe to find yourself some good hoodies and jackets that would suit you for fall. So you might need something that's going to be waterproof, or like a rain jacket. You might also need to get yourself maybe a winter riding jacket if ever you are planning on riding in the winter, and if you don't have an indoor arena, it's something that you might want to look into slowly. There's also riding boots that are made for winter and colder seasons. There are also, what are they called, Dublin boots, which are a bit more like paddock kind of boots, or field boots if ever you are working on a barn. That's something that you might be really interested in getting this season, just because they are waterproof and they're also very warm. I think they have wool inside or something like that, which makes them really warm. So in my case, I will probably look for ride wear that I actually can wear in the fall and in the winter. I know they also make breeches that are made for winter, and some of the shirts as well that might be made for winter as well. So that's something that you might want to look into, just because riding in Canada is a bit challenging, especially in the fall and the winter. It's getting really cold, and on the horse you get really cold yourself. So my tips number 2, it would be to get yourself a quarter sheet. So this is mine. So a quarter sheet is a sheet that's actually not gonna like cover the whole horse. So what it does is it covers the back end of the horse and also your legs. So this is the hole where the saddle would go, and this is the flap that would go right above your legs. So it actually makes it feel a bit warmer, and it is in fleece, so it's very nice. I will put a picture of a quarter sheet right here so you guys can see what it looks like on a horse, but it's very useful if you are riding in the spring and in the fall. It's something that I love to put on Hazel, just to keep her warm. So first of all, it keeps the hindquarters of the horse really warm, which is good, and it also keeps you warm at the same time. So it's a bit more comfortable for riding in the fall and in the winter as well. So that's something I recommend for you guys to get if ever you don't have one. It's not very expensive, just because it's not a full sheet or anything, so it's worth it. The other thing is, if you are in a riding program, or if you are riding your horse a lot, I would also suggest that you bring yourself like a cooler at the barn. So just like a full-on cooler that you can put on your horse when you're done riding. So this really helps to kind of remove the sweat, just because horses can have colds, right? If you remove everything, the blanket and everything, right after the ride and it's soaking wet, the horse is going to be wet and cold, so you really want to keep them away from that sweat. Some people are looking into maybe clipping their horses if their horse are getting a lot of coat, like if they are building a lot of fur. You might want to shave them. It would be a good time for you guys to shave them. But if you do shave them, you have to blanket them all winter, and that means putting them blankets inside and outside to make sure that they don't get a cold once again. So that's something that you might want to look into. There are services of people that come around barns and shave horses, or if you want to try it, you're free to try your own shave or clip as well. But yeah, it's a bit time consuming. In my case, Hazel does not get shaved whatsoever. She does not grow a full very luscious coat. She just grows a bit like her hair just grows a little bit longer, but it's nothing crazy. So that's something that I don't do. I don't clip her for that reason. But she does get sweaty, and therefore it's time for me to bring a cooler at the barn to just kind of help dry her a little bit faster, because we don't have all day to kind of wait for the coat to dry, and it does take a little bit of time. So that's very important. The second thing is, if you can, clean up your tack as much as possible. So for me, I will bring my brushes, clean my brushes. I will add a bit of new brushes. I have currycombs that are a little bit like, they have a longer kind of little hair on the currycomb, if you will, so it helps to kind of go deeper in the coat. So I will bring those at the barn to make sure that it gets the dirt all the way down the fur once the fur is actually grown for winter. So horses do shed twice a year, most likely in the spring and in the fall, and so you want to make sure that you have the appropriate brushes to kind of take care of that. And then it doesn't really help anything if ever your brushes are dirty. So that's why I'm saying take the time, clean your brushes really well. I do have a video about cleaning your brushes. I'll put a link right up here, so if you want to take a look at that video and see how you can wash and clean your brushes, that's something that's very important to do as well. I also clean my tack, so make sure you clean your tack, oil them as well if you haven't oiled them in a while, just to make sure the leather is very nourished and everything. And in my case, I will probably bring my saddles back home maybe by mid-fall to the end of fall, just because my barn does not have weather controlled room for my tack, and so I don't want them to mold. That's something that can happen if your barn has no either like heater or like humidifier, dehumidifier in their tack room. That's something that can happen, and the saddle can have and grow mold on it, and it's very damageable for the actual leather. So you want to make sure that if you don't have a climatized room for your tack, that you take care of it, bring it home, give them all the nourishment that they need, so oil, leather balm, all these kind of things, to make sure that you can keep them protected and hydrated, because the winter is going to be really dry. If you live in Canada and you heat your house, it makes it very dry in the house, and then the leather tends to, it could crack if ever you don't oil it properly, or just get damaged. So you really want to make sure that you have the right level of moisture in the leather, and by doing so you can just either oil it or put some balm on it, depending on what the state of your tack is. But that's something that's very important. So go over your saddle, go over your bridle, go over your martingales, whatever you have in leather, maybe your actual girth, like all this stuff. Just make sure, go give it a good look over, make sure that it's first fit to be used, and second of all that nothing is really damaged and is well oiled and ready to go. So that's something that I always do twice a year, mainly for the oiling, twice a year, and then at least a couple times a month I like either put leather balm on my saddle, or just double check and make sure the moisture in the leather is actually there. So that's something very important that you want to do for fall. Another thing is, you might have some blankets at the barn that needs to be cleaned. So you might want to just go around your barn, check out what doesn't need to be there, because we do have things that are really great for the summer but are not gonna help you at all during winter. So instead of getting them to lay around the barn, collect dust, get potentially damaged, maybe go over your barn and go pick the things that you won't need for winter. So in my case, she has a fly sheet. She won't need a fly sheet in the summer, in the winter, so I'm just gonna pick it up, bring it to the wash. So we do have a company around here that washes the blankets, so that's something also great that you can do. If you haven't washed your blankets from last year, it might be time to wash your blankets, just to get them ready for like winter as soon as it hits. So you have a stable blanket, you have something to turn out or something like that you can put on your horse. So that might be something really good to go. What else do I have at the barn that might not fit for the winter? Well, I usually change her boots too. Like, she has some boots that I like to put on in the winter when we ride, like riding boots or whatever for Hazel to wear in the winter that I don't really use in the summer, and vice versa. There's some that have more ventilation and things like that. So if you want to go over your tack and just check out what you don't need, at least you can just bring it home, clean it, and then it's going to be ready for next summer, right? So that's something great as well to do. So yeah, these are a few tips and tricks of things that you can do over your barn in the fall. Obviously, you could definitely give a deep clean to your barn if you're a barn manager, barn owner, things like that. I know that a lot of people go into like a deep cleaning mode for fall and for spring, so that's something that you can do as well. But yeah, mainly get yourself warm. Try to keep your horse warm. That's definitely the things that we're looking for. In terms of gear and things to either purchase or make sure that you have at the barn. So you want to make sure you have gloves, maybe breeches, jacket, coats, scarves, and things like that. That's going to keep you warm over the fall and into the winter. So yeah, these are my tips and tricks for how to get ready for fall. I hope you guys enjoyed it and that you've learned something new. If ever you're new to my channel, give me a thumbs up so I know you're there. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye now. Bye.